Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the July 15th City of Dayton Council meetings. Everyone, please rise for memory, silent prayer, and pledge allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Yes. Mayor Rangel?
Here.
Member Hurd?
Here.
Member Burns?
Here.
Member Bolter?
Here.
Member Bresky?
Here.
Member Gunning?
Here.
Member Gifford?
Here.
City Administrator Giffen?
Here.
City Attorney Fisher?
What we're in here tonight for, the main reason, unless somebody else has something else they want to add to the agenda, is about the negotiation for the marina, which we are going to be doing in executive session. And then after we come out of the executive session, we're going to do whatever motion we need to make as far as any business that we have. If anybody would like to say anything to council before we go to executive session about an issue they have, if they're here for that reason and then they don't want to stay for anything else, that's fine. The one thing I do want to say that really bothers me a lot is that over the weekend, I was told that we lost an $80,000 insurance check down the marina. That is absolutely false. Absolutely false. It has to do with the insurance on the reef. We never settled with anything yet. We have, I think, a $30,000 or $50,000 deductible. What is it?
$30,000 deductible.
There was no $80,000 check. We never got it. We never lost it. It's strictly a rumor, and it's over with. You know, just crazy. So,
Did you get it?
unless Mr. Vogt got it.
I thought it was 70, is it 80?
Well,
It's grown to 80?
71,000.
Someone sold out on us there.
Went to 80 real quick.
Well, it never went anywhere because it was not around.
Have you got any insurance money at all for that then?
We've got 19,000 so far.
For the dredge?
Nope.
No, the dredge is not covered by any insurance. That was screwed up with by the previous people that had the lease. That's no insurance deal at all. As a matter of fact, I think Mr. Stark is fixing the dredge. So they bought it broken, so they're fixing it.
We had 19,000 up front to help cover some of the initial costs, so they gave us that, but we had to meet the deductible before they'll give us any money.
What's the deduction?
20,000. I think we spent 20.
We spent 20,000 on the, not in 20. We spent less than 20 on the piers because the guy gave us a $20,000 bill. And we took it back to him and said we can't pay that much.
Did the insurance cover, what was it filed on? Was it the damage on the reef or
Wind damage.
specifically?
Yeah.
But like I said, we got $30,000 deductible. Okay. Need a motion to go into executive session for.
This would be for discussions between the city and representatives of a business entity concerning specific proposal, as open discussion would jeopardize the siding retention, expansion, and upgrading of the business pursuant to KRS 61-810-1G.
So moved. I'll second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, there.
I thought you had something you said you
Well, I
wanted to
just-
bring up.
No.
Okay.
You want us to leave or you guys gonna go over there?
No, we're going to stay here. We're going to ask everybody to leave. No, you're staying here.
Excuse me, I'm the voice, sir.
Just saying.
It's always like, it was so nice across the river. They were killing me over
They
there.
had the audacity to call and tell us to turn the lights around the other way. I was like, no way.
I don't know.
I can't go back over
This
there.
is Mark. Mark, I'm at the 300 block of Dayton area. I hear it all night.
And do you like
We're
it?
done.
You know what? I've gotten used to it. It's kind of like when you just go up the river. You get used to it.
Oh, they're mad at me over there.
I'll tell you,
And I said that, I'm not getting complaints over here. How can you guys?
I'll tell you something about over later.
So
I'll
we're
tell
back
you
in
about
regular
it.
session. There's a executive session. If anybody needs to make any motions or anything.
I would make a motion that we do the structure of the payments for marina in the 8 acres or 9 acres is the first year ending July 31st of this year, $175,000. The second year ending 2015, $225,000. The third year, $225,000. The fourth year, $225,000 with a 3% interest rate on the marina.
I'll second that motion.
In the right first.
And the right of refusal.
First
Okay,
time for
I'll
the sale of
second
the
that.
marina.
Sale of the marina, correct.
Been a
I'd
motion made,
second that.
been seconded, is there any other discussion?
No.
Need a roll call vote?
Member Gunning?
Aye.
Member Gifford?
No.
Member Hurd?
Aye.
Member Burns?
Aye.
Member Holden? Aye. Member Bresky?
Aye.
Motion passed. At this time, would anybody like to address council before we adjourn? Yes, ma'am.
I hate to be a pain in the butt about it, but it's the fourth month in a row that I'm going to mention the fact that part of Fifth at Vine is starting to collapse. It has now caused a second issue of damage to my vehicle, and I can only imagine how many others. Please address it.
Is that being taken care of with the water company, do you know, Michael?
We've been fighting with the water company, with the sanitation district on that. We've tried to.
I couldn't hear that, Michael, I'm sorry.
We've been fighting with the sanitation district on that. They're claiming it's not their responsibility. We're claiming that it is their responsibility. So we're kind of just right now battling. We're supposed to have a meeting on Monday.
Can we at least get a plate over it or something so that it does not, literally, the undercarriage of my car gets caught. When cars are parked on either side, you have no option but to hit that.
Is this on the 200 block of Fifth? Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay.
There are 3 spots. One of them has a plate over it. At least get a plate over the part that is
The
collapsed.
one on,
because
the
it's
one on
about 14
Second
inches
and,
deep.
or the one on Vine, we'll take care of it.
Thank you.
You may have turtles and plate on it tomorrow?
If you have one, we don't have a plate.
I'm sure we got one around there. We have to do that?
Thank you.
Just call turtle. Give your turtle stuff.
Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion we adjourn.
I'll second.
Turtle's number.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And welcome to the August 5th City Dayton Council meeting. Will everyone please rise for a little silent prayer and pledge allegiance. And I'm going to be a little stingy tonight. I'm going to ask everybody to say a little prayer for my daughter, Allison. She's getting ready to deliver, hopefully real soon. Not yet, but real soon. She has 2 probably 7-pound babies inside of her, and we want them out. We want them out. So if you can all have a little prayer for her, I would appreciate it. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here's a roll call, please.
Mayor Rankle?
Here.
Member Hurd? Member Burns?
Here.
Member Volter? Here. Member Bresky?
Here.
Member Gunning?
Here.
Member Gifford?
Here.
City Administrator Giffen?
Here.
City Attorney Fisher?
Yeah. I'd like to start off tonight by honoring someone that really deserves to be honored. Barb Washington, as you know, was our assistant city clerk for almost 20 years. Almost 20 years, like 18 years? 18 years. She's gone through a lot, as everybody can imagine, and served with me for 12 years as mayor and 4 years as council, so she definitely deserves some type of an award. So, Barbara, if you could come up, we'd like to embarrass you a little bit. And we have City of Dayton Proclamation 2014-2. It's a proclamation honoring Barbara Washington and her retirement as Assistant City Clerk Treasurer for the City of Dayton. Whereas Barbara Washington graciously and thankfully accepted appointment as Assistant City Clerk Treasurer on May 20th, 1996 after years of service to the City of Park Hills. I'm not gonna cry,
I came prepared.
Well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do this. Whereas Barbara Washington has given up her precious time, energy, and experience to other areas of interest to the City of Dayton and its citizens, such as participating in the stray animal adoption program with Terry Baker, Dayton's Animal Control Officer, acting at time as the secretary, advisor, and grant writer for the organization, being awarded more than a few grants for the program, and also was instrumental in securing the pet fair sitting at Gildan Park and helping to organize the fair for many years. sports and is eligible for, and decided to take retirement after a long and fruitful career for a well-deserved respite with her beloved family, especially her husband Lou, and I think more importantly, Chloe, PJ, and Gus, from what I understand.
Yes.
Now therefore be it proclaimed by the city of Dayton, Campbell County, Kentucky, that Barbara Washington is hereby honored by the city of Dayton, Kentucky, and the Dayton community for her resolute and proficient service to our people, and the city congratulates her and thanks her profusely for her efforts. Proclaimed by the mayor of the city of Dayton, Kentucky, this 5th day of August, 2014.
Thank you.
Barb with the key to the city for her 18 years of service.
I've had so many of those
She
made for
has made,
others.
I'm not to say dozens, but she's made a few of them for people that deserve it, and it's really nice to
love
see
it.
that she got one for herself. Turn around and take a picture for your paper. So once again, thank you very much. And you of all people should know that you don't have to stay for the rest of the council meeting.
I know, but I know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
She looks so relaxed and so stress-free now that she no longer participates in the program. Next, I'd like to introduce Leola Masciano. Is she here? She's not here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you back there. Would you like to?
Thank you.
Yes. Would you like to address council?
Yes, I
Do you mind going to the podium for us, please?
do, but I will.
Thanks. Did I butcher your last name again?
The whole thing, thank you, though.
Okay.
I'm just here cordially to invite everyone to the Coaster No Day Post 2899's ham or turkey dinner on Sunday, August the 10th. And also invite the citizens in Dayton to come through our post and see our Wall of Fame. We're trying to get people from Bracken County to come up through our fine city to enjoy our dinner this coming Sunday. And also our flea market on September the 6th. But I do want to invite each and every one of the citizens in Dayton and hope that we can get people from Bracken County, Alexandria, Newport just to come through our city. So we thank you.
What time will it?
The dinners start from 12 to 6 and is $7 a person. Thank you.
And then while you're there, I'm sure the New Orleans Council has any objections or anything else that if we close the street for on the flea market day.
That's up to Mrs. Hart. I don't know if she approaches you. So.
She hasn't approached anybody yet, but we have something for new business, which is a request from the VFW for the street closure. So if someone would like to, if no one has any concerns about it, we'll make sure Public Works has the necessary barricades and stuff for you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
When you come up and walk through our hall, you might know some of the people on the wall.
Okay, all right, great, thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Tina Nyer.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm here for the Tharp Dayton Heritage Museum. I thought that it might be wise to give you just a little bit of an update of what's going on at the museum since we've been open for about 10 months now. We've had a steady attendance. We've worked with Campbell County Historical Society and continue to work in conjunction with them to digitize our records and be careful about archiving our records. We've been changing our window displays on a monthly basis to keep interest peaked. We've had an art conservationist come in and advise us on things that we need to do to ensure that we are taking care of the items that we have. And just this week we installed blackout curtains to keep the light out. The city has fixed the backside of the museum where neighbors were stealing asbestos tiles and firewood off of the side of our building, and we thank the city for doing that. Let's see, we've made contact with the Dayton City Schools to foster an educational program with them, and we are in contact with Northern Kentucky University to try to get an internship or two with the history department. And then some of our ongoing projects that we have are identifying and researching pictures of veterans who were killed in action. We're doing that with the VFW. We're collecting the facts and legends about Dayton's role in the Underground Railroad. We're developing age-appropriate curriculum for the schools. And we're developing a possible historic homes tour to be held during other citywide events. And then we're also doing video recordings when some of the elders who come in who have good memories of the city, we're videotaping them and hoping to do a record with them. Our attendance continues to be very steady. On Memorial Day, we had over 100 people come through the museum. And so we just thought that it might be time to let you all know what was going on.
Great. I know the one thing that Charlie was always afraid of was that everything that he collected as being a historian for the city would be lost, we wouldn't take care of. And I think that between you and your group, you guys have done an outstanding job with all that. I'm sure he's very proud of the whole museum.
Well, our entire committee is a strong committee, and we are looking for other volunteers. We have a couple of people who are interested, but we're always looking for other volunteers. So.
And the members of your group, I know it's you, Elmer Perry, Gene Hebel.
Jane Hebel, yes.
And
Shirley
Shirley
Atkins.
okay.
Akins, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we thank you guys for everything you've done. You've done a great job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, I'd like to introduce Pastor Tony Hayes.
Thank you very much. I'm the minister at the Dayton Bellevue Christian Church, and I want to make you aware of 3 initiatives that we're working on at our church. Number one is we're involved in the September 20th Song Festival that's going to be in the park out here. We were out here last year at this park. Initially they thought they were going to have like a big concert and have a lot of people come to the concert. What they found is that it was a gold mine for children. They had over 500 children come down through, and all the churches in Dayton had little booths set up where they could play games and win prizes. They had face painting and things like that. We will be doing that again, and it's not a denominational thing. It's all the churches that want to be involved can be involved in this, and we're partnering with some people from Fort Thomas, one of the churches in Fort Thomas. There is another meeting about that on August 14th at the Dayton Bellevue Christian Church. If anyone would like to come, be a part of it, Bill Burns comes and is involved in that. I think it'd be a great outreach for the community, for the kids to be able to do something like that. Everything is free for them. The second thing is one of the ladies in my church had an inspiration, and she is a sort of a designer, and I should have made these bigger, but I'm sorry I didn't. What these are like decals that a person would be able to put on their car or on the doorpost or something like that. And what it says, what it is it's just a cross, and it says, "Pray for Dayton, stop heroin." Okay, it would give, and what we're going to do is we're going to get a lot of these made up and give them out to people, make sure people have them, and it's a way for the community to stand up for themselves and say, this is something that we don't want in our community. And so when you see this, it's like a reminder. Okay, and the third thing that we're doing is we're trying to put together what I call a 100 Men program. 100 men in the city of Dayton from different churches who would make basically 3 commitments. One to honor God and their church, their family, and their community. My idea with that would be to have meetings with these 100 men and begin to address ourselves to some of the problems in the community in Dayton. Okay, so like you just have a lot of volunteers who may do things like clean up, helping people on their buildings, or any number of things. I don't have even one of those men yet, but once we get the 100 men, you can depend on us to do something. So I'd like to just make everybody aware that this is something that we would like to get everyone as possibly involved in this. If you want more information, you can certainly get in touch with me. And I think most everyone knows Commodore Perry over here, and you could get through him. And finally, I would like to say a thank you for 2 things. Number one, the Dayton Bellevue Christian Church about 6 or 7 years ago was in danger of closing. They were down to 8 people. And they called me and asked me if I could help out, and I said, absolutely, I've been there ever since, okay? But one of the first things I knew that we had to do is in front of the high school, the old high school there, which is now apartments, there was no parking. So I went to the city manager at the time and I said, hey, can you help us out by getting this parking so that we could park there? And he said yes. And that's one of the things that initially saved the church, because if you don't have a place to park, you can't get people to come. So I want to thank you for that. And then several months ago, we had a problem at our church where one of our doors blew open and broke, the glass broke and shattered and everything in the middle of the night. Unfortunately, the officer who came, in the shuffle of everything, his card was lost. But I want to say a thanks to the police department. This young man, I'm assuming he's a young man, I don't know, he came into the church at night, stayed there until he was able to get a hold of someone, because we don't have a secretary or anything like that. And actually, on his own initiative, he found an old, like a shelf, and put up in front of that door so nobody could get in. So he protected our property. And so I'd like to, on behalf of our church, I'd like to thank the Dayton City Council and the Mayor's office and for those things. And thank you very much for giving me this time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Moving on to the city administrator's report. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so sorry. Thank you. I have one last group of people, or a couple, to recognize. Holly Watson and her husband, Ron.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Ron and I live on O'Fallon Avenue at 937 O'Fallon Avenue, and next to our property is a grass-covered alley. And we have a neighbor on the other side of that alley. And for 28 years, we have been maintaining it, mowing it, and taking care of it. And we are interested in purchasing it from the city to add to our property.
Typically, what we do is we have to send a letter to every neighbor that touches that alleyway. And then we divide it among each of them if they want a piece of it. If not, you're more than welcome to have the whole thing. The only thing that we ask you to pay for is any of the legal fees.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that no one has a question or a comment or anything about that?
I've talked to the lady. There's only two property owners. It's right along their side yards.
Okay.
And I believe the other property owner is going to be, the statute says that if you close right away, half of it goes to the property owner on one side and half to the other. Automatically, we can't say, you get the whole thing or you don't get the whole thing. But I believe you talked to this lady and she's willing to deed her half back over.
Yes,
to
I
you.
actually already have a signed statement from her, giving up her rights to it. And we have neighbors behind us that have already purchased like that portion of the alley and have already extended their yard and put up a privacy fence.
Did we close that part off?
I think what they're talking about is on the other side of the road. Their alley runs into another alley. And then there's an alley past that has been closed.
It was at once just one alley that ran from O'Fallon to Thornton, I guess is the next street over. And the owners on Thornton got that part of it next to their house.
Well, if anybody'd like to make a motion to close the alley.
We'll have to do an ordinance.
Okay.
So I make a motion for an ordinance to close the alley with all the appropriate paperwork and legal work done.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That was easy enough.
Okay, yeah, and then like will someone contact us or do we contact you at some point?
Well, there's two readings of the ordinance, so that'll be, I assume, unless there's a meeting in the middle of the month. There'll be one meeting in September and one in October. Right after that, I will contact both you and the other owner for your signed consents. You'll have to have signed notarized consents. We'll take all that down to the county clerk's office and file it there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll turn it over to the city administrator's report.
A few things. Rick Lucas and I and the mayor have been in talks with Representative Keene to get some additional funding to come our way for some street resurfacing. So Rick and I have started to put together a list, roughly to meet his, Representative Keene's estimate on what he thinks he can get us. It's not set in stone yet, but it's something that we're working on. What we'd like to do is couple that with other improvements in the city that we'd like to do based on the funds that we have available in municipal aid. So I just kind of want to let everybody know that hopefully this fall we should be able to get to quite a few streets and make a big improvement this fall. When I get this list a little bit more fine-tuned, I'll make sure that members of council see it. And like I said, it'll be two different projects, but it'll kind of be grouped into one. So hopefully we'll be able to get a lot of resurfacing done this fall, which would be great. A few other things. The personnel policy, it's been a while since that's been looked at. So Donna and I set up a time earlier this week to start combing through that, correct there's some typos, and some misunderstandings with words and numbers that we're trying to clarify, and also to look at some things that may need to be updated. Like I said, she and I have kind of gone through it roughly. What I'd like to do is sit down with the committee with Jerry, Virgil, and Ron of Personnel Law and Printing to kind of let them know some of the changes that we feel need to be made, give them an opportunity to look at it, see if there's anything that they can see that may need to be amended or changed. I think it's probably been since 2006 or 2007 was the last time that it was updated. So she and I have started that process, and I'll get with the three of you. We'll set up a good dinner item to kind of look at. The last thing, through South Bank, they're putting on what's called a Developers Day. They've done this in years past. It's on August 28th. I will be there representing Dayton. The Appropriations Revenue Committee from Frankfurt will be up. There will be also several developers from the region and maybe a few from across the nation that'll be there. It'll be a great opportunity for us to kind of showcase what we have going on here, what we have available, especially with the riverfront and that starting to take off. It is open to the public, so if anybody is free or is interested in it that day, it's August 28th, and it will be in Covington at the Convention Center. That goes, I think it starts at 8:30 and goes all the way, I think, until 4 or 5. So that's all I have.
Great. Thank you. Hopefully everyone had a chance to read the minutes from July 1st. If there's no changes needed, we need a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion been made, seconds, or any concerns or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Jack, I'm assuming you didn't have a report.
The only thing I have are the ordinances down further.
Tonight we're going to have the first reading of 2014 number 10, which is adopting the 2012 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, 2014, number 10. An ordinance amending other chapter 150, section 150.03 of the Dayton Code of Ordinances, adopting the 2012 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code. This ordinance amends section 150.03 of the Dayton Code of Ordinances to adopt the 2012 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code and make it applicable to Dayton, replacing the 2006 edition. It amends the code itself to permit the Dayton Code Enforcement Board to hear appeals of notice of violation and amends the penalty section to provide C1 section PM 106.3 penalty. Prosecution of violation is hereby amended as follows. Any person, firm, corporation who shall violate any provision of this code in addition to the penalties found in the Dayton Code of Ordinances, Chapter 150, Section 150.98, shall, upon conviction thereof, be subject to a fine of not less than $50 nor more than $250, or imprisonment for a term not to exceed 30 days, or both at the discretion of the court. The violation shall be deemed a strict liable offense. If the notice of violation is not complied with, the code officer shall institute the appropriate proceedings at law or in equity to restrain, correct, or abate such violation, or to require the removal or termination of the unlawful occupancy of the structure in violation of the provisions of the code or the order of direction made pursuant thereto. Any action taken by the city, its agents, and assignees, or shall on such premises shall be charged against the real estate upon which the structure is located and shall be a lien upon such real estate. Each day that a violation continues after due notice has been served in accordance with the terms and provisions thereof shall be deemed a separate offense. And that's the first reading.
Thank you. We also have the first reading of 2014, number 11, which eliminates the occupational license fee for taxi cabs and limos.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, 2014, number 11. An ordinance amending Chapter 150, Section 150.03 of the Dayton Code of Ordinances, adopting the 2000, sorry, got the wrong heading there. This ordinance eliminates occupational license fees for taxi cabs and limos.
Thank you. Next, we have 2014-8R, a resolution enters into a development agreement with Manhattan Harbor Yacht Club, LLC.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, 2014 8R. An order authorizing the city to enter into a development agreement with the Manhattan Harbor Yacht Club, a Kentucky limited liability company, for development of city-owned property at 1301 4th Avenue. Be it ordered by the City of Dayton, Campbell County, Kentucky, Section 1, that City Council of the City of Dayton, Kentucky does find as follows. That is in the best interest of the people of Dayton to enter into this agreement for development of property owned by the city at 1301 4th Avenue, comprising approximately 47 acres, known as the Marina property, and that such development will promote further economic development and residential housing opportunities. This is in the best interest of the people of Dayton to develop the property for commercial and residential purposes. That the property is surplus property, it is not necessary for the effective government of the city, and is appropriate to dispose of property in accordance with KRS 82.03 without competitive bidding or auction. The city desires to have the property developed in a timely manner